Hey, Felicity, how you guys doing? So, my arm is already killing me. So I'm going to have a crack at going outside today. I had surgery on the broken finger last week. No, actually, it's a week and a half ago now. And so this might be a bit awkward, and I feel like my arm's already shaking because I'm just using one arm. We're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to head outside, set things up, and we're going to just talk chickens for a while. It's going to be great. I love it. I'm actually surrounded by chickens at the moment, and I've got the neighbour's rooster crying as well. So I'm going to pan around. It might take me a second. Give me a minute. Hello, girls. Hello. I've got a few behind me as well. I always want to copy chickens whenever I hear them talking. It's a bit of a habit of mine. Every time I see the girls, bah, 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 bah. Hello, lovelies. Come here, can I grab you up? Yeah, you can sort of say hello. Oh, look, isn't she beautiful? Hello, yes you are. You're gorgeous, aren't you? That one's a nice brown. Doesn't really have a name. Oh, actually, I think she does, but do I ever remember what their names are? No. I think they're making a lot of noise because I'm in here, and they're hoping for something from me, some sort of food, some sort of activity. I'm actually going to talk a bit more about what I'm going to do in the run a little later. But first, I guess the great thing about chickens is it's a really great way to start if you're interested in homesteading or interested in self-sufficiency. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. What's the matter? What's the matter? Oh, you don't like the fact that I'm here. Okay, fine. They're just a great way to get started. I mean, fresh eggs. How awesome is that? So I got the idea of having chickens, I reckon it was probably, I was still living, I guess, on a suburban block. Back about 7 or 8 years ago, and I'd been reading about permaculture, doing a bit of research on it, and I thought, why don't I just get started with chickens and see how I go. I actually don't really like birds that much. I have a bit of a couple of incidents, trauma incidents, shall we call them. And I'm not really a fan of birds. I love birds from a distance, but like, get them away from me, honestly. So, oh, hey rooster. So I got 2 chickens from a local guy. They were Australorps, and I don't know if they were purebred or not. Probably not. But so Australorps are actually a great way to start with chickens if you're interested in chickens, because they're quite a friendly breed. They're pretty hardy, both for the hot weather, cold weather, you name it, they're pretty good with it. And they're good egg layers. Probably one kind of negative, unless you're really interested in breeding, is they get broody a lot. I've had a few Australorps over the years, and they all tend to get very broody. They're very good mothers, but I'll talk about the whole chick raising thing a little later. So I think, why chickens? So chickens are definitely, I think they're relatively easy to care for. But like any pet, they need maintenance. They need taking care of, watering, feeding, checking for, health issues, those sorts of things. But I think overall, they are a pretty easy animal to take care of. As far as housing chickens goes, now if I had 2 hens, I would take you around a bit more. So this coop, I think I showed you guys when I did the first tour of the property. I don't know that I would ever get a wooden coop again. Cheap material, mites love wooden coops, and they just don't sustain in the weather. I've found them, like this one is on a lean, it's on a slope to begin with, so that probably doesn't help, but it's just they're crap. I did paint this one, and so it has weathered a little better than others I've had, but they're pretty ordinary. The only thing is, if you get, say, for example, steel or metal coop. In Australia, it can get really hot, so you've got to be really careful then with shade. I might show you. I do have actually I do actually have a metal coop. So later on, when I go down to you can't see my girl looking at me. When I go down to the front of the property later to get some stuff for the coop, I'll just show you the metal chicken coop that I've got. However, I have lost a girl in there because she was laying in really hot weather and carked it in the meantime, poor darling. All right, so this is Felicity, the editor here. So I launched, it seems like I'm just launched suddenly into talking about dual purpose birds. And what I accidentally did was video myself. Instead of pressing, I pressed record instead of pressing stop, and vice versa. So there's like, I found sections of myself just like looking at obviously what I'd had on my iPad or whatever as like little prompts, and just like muttering to myself down mainly. So this is an example. So you have to forgive me, by the way, I'm not in a very exciting place. The background's a little bit dull. I'm actually heading up north tomorrow, and I'm overnight in a beautiful motel. So yes, forgive the dull background. Whoopsie. And so actually while I was here, I thought, I might edit one of my videos, and so I was going to post it this coming weekend, so it's what, Thursday night now, and that's when I found those video segments where I'm just sitting there in silence. So anyway, I'm talking about, sort of setting the scene for you, talking about different types of birds. So for example, dual purpose, heritage and hybrid. But actually I did forget to include, so I'll sort of start with that. I forgot meat birds. I don't know too many people around where I live that do it. I mean, maybe they do. I just don't know of it. I don't really see it very often. I used to drive past when I used to work in a town a bit further north of Adelaide. I used to drive past a farm, and they had out the front, I guess, like a mobile chicken coop, and they had some what looked like meat birds in there, but I don't see that very often. And I just wonder if, unless you pluck it yourself, kill them and pluck them yourself, how economical it would be to actually have meat birds. We've toyed with the idea before, but as I talk about in a minute, us and lopping off chickens' heads and plucking, we just don't do that. We attempted it once after it. We thought we'd give it a go with a rooster who kept on attacking me, because the problem is once a rooster starts doing that, you've pretty much got no hope of it playing nicely. And every time my back was turned, it would attack, and it wasn't a gentle, crack at me. It was quite nasty. So we thought, right, here's a good opportunity to practice. And it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Neither of us enjoyed the experience. My partner would do it again, I think, but I can't. These are my pets. So anyway, so having talked about meat birds, I'll finish talking here and we'll get on with the video. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right. Dual purpose birds. So we're talking both eggs and meat. Look, if you're a true homesteader, maybe not like me, you'd be interested in that. Certainly, that's what I was saying before, heritage breeds. They are typically made for both meat and eggs, but I have to be honest, I can't kill chickens and pluck them. No, I can't. No, it's terrible. Well, it's not, but it's probably more terrible the way we actually do process chickens. But yeah, it's just not my thing. And so I just have them because they're pretty. But the hybrid chickens, so the Isa Brown, they're really purely for laying eggs. So, hello. So if you want lots of eggs, a hybrid is probably the way to go. Look, in the end, I actually really like the breed. They're super friendly, curious, lovely things. They're not flighty at all, so they don't, get scared very easily. And they lay a lot of eggs. So, I don't know, I like them. And also they're quite petite too, so they don't eat a ton. I find that the larger breeds, like the Rhode Island Red, Australorps, they actually eat quite a bit. So if you're looking to save money and you're just wanting eggs, Isa Browns, I think there's a few other varieties, but up where I live in the Adelaide Hills, Isa Browns are quite popular, and so that's what's readily available to buy. So with feeders and waterers, I have a couple of different waterers. I've used all sorts of different feeders, and this flock that I have up here, I tend to feed them just in the morning, and I don't leave food out for the rest of the day. Are you not impressed that I'm here? I'm sorry. I know you've been complaining the whole time I've been in here. That's not my problem. No. That's just rude. Hang on. Oh. Hang on. Take a pic. Where is she? There she is. The complainer. I'll stop you complaining. Hey, stop you complaining. Hello. I read a book once where this lady was talking about, she studied chicken noises and discovered that her chickens had a call for her. So when she came, I have to be honest, I don't know if it's a very specific sound for me, but they always chatter, and it's a kind of a particular noise that they make. I can't do it for you, I'm so sorry. But they do make a noise when I come up, but obviously I've also got food, so maybe it's just not about me, it's about the food. So I check the waterers every day to make sure they've always got fresh water. In the summer in particular here, because it gets so hot, actually chickens do drink quite a bit of water, less so obviously in the winter, but they actually still, I always am filling their waterers up, and that's daily. So as far as food goes, I tend to get like a layer feed, like a free-range layer feed that's basically grain, and then corn and those sorts of things, and sunflower seeds, etc. I also give them greens, and so for example, whatever's around the place, whether it be broccoli leaves or spinach or something from the house, and I'll often give them leftovers as well from what we've been eating. So you really need to be quite, I guess, on top of things when it comes to watering and feeding, because it's really important. Chickens are so fragile. Well, I find that they are. They cark it over the smallest thing, and so you do have to, are they easy care? Yes, in some ways, but in others not really. When I go into the coop, I check often for to make sure everyone's got a red comb, and they've, I guess I'm looking for things like scaly mite, where their feet get all crusty, or mites. Oh, mites, seriously. And other things too. So I've got, I think I said at the first tour that I've got a couple of chickens that aren't particularly, look, one has got a tumour, but she seems to be doing quite well. Whether it's cancerous or not, I don't know, but she eats and her comb's red and all sorts of things. I've got an Australorp. She's 4.5, so she's getting on. She seems to have some sort of skin condition. Taken her to the vet. Did it really do anything? No, she's still got the skin condition. She's struggling a little bit. Her comb is quite pale, so I'm not too sure what to do with her. She's a bit of a dilemma. Look, she's walking and eating still, so I'll have a think about whether I then take her back to the vet. Might take her to a different vet. That might be the answer to that one. So as far as the chicken run goes, so here's my girl's chicken run. And it looks a bit like I'm going on a slant, but actually this is kind of slow, so that's probably why. With the chicken run, because Adelaide Hills get so wet and soggy, I've been reading some stuff on and watching videos with who blah, 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 blah. I've been reading some stuff and watching some videos on Joel Salatin's farming practices, and he was talking about in one video this carbonaceous diaper, he calls it, where I guess it's the combination of carbon, so like wood chips, that sort of thing, and like dry leaves, etc., and chicken manure, as well as I think he has rabbits as well and has them up high, and then they urinate too. And so this mixture in the coop, I'm not talking about the chicken run, but in the coop, creates almost like this sort of rich material that becomes like compost, and you can put it on the garden. So my thought was that I might do it in the coop. My thought was that it would I could do it in the run and see if I could create a compost pile in the run. I don't know how I'll go, but given the mucky, sticky mud that gets created when the rain comes here, I thought I would give it a go, and over the coming few months, see if I can create some compost that actually might be good for the soil or for the garden. The other thing I forgot to mention as well, by putting carbon in the chicken run, is that my hope is that it manages the moisture, manages the odour, because actually it kind of starts to stink after a while. It's kind of gross, and I guess reduces the opportunity for, I guess, maybe health issues. I don't know. I mean, these girls have been in the coop. I've had chickens up in this coop for probably about 3 years, 3.5, 4. Who knows? I don't know. Time just flies. And I haven't had too many problems, but I don't know. Have I? Have I not? I'm not sure. Chicken still dies. It'll be a good opportunity to see what happens. And also, too, they'll get entertained. They love scratching around. They love it. So what I'm going to do now is actually grab the trailer, go down to the bottom of the property. I don't know, just go grab some carbon. There's carbon everywhere. I'll pick some up around the place. I'm going to use wood chips. Thought I might, there's some hay and sheep manure in the paddock down the front. I might, with one hand, rake that up. And I'll put some stuff together, and then I'm going to pop it into the run and see how we go. Actually, before I do that, I should talk about how to get started with chickens. I probably should have done that at the beginning. Aha! I guess I've done the whole gamut with getting started with chicks, etc. I've done hatching eggs naturally, not me personally, obviously my girls. Using an incubator, buying day-old chicks, buying pullets. I've done the lot. Each method has its own pros and cons. So by getting my girls to hatch naturally under a broody hen, I find, look, it's great because the chickens know what to do, the chicks are well taken care of, you don't have to do anything except provide some feed, obviously, some chick feed. My biggest issue is that the whole process is really inconsistent. I've, blessed the girls, but when I have had roosters, it's really been hit and miss. I've not had consistent laying and hatching. Often the eggs don't hatch at all. There might be a couple that hatch and then the girls get off the rest of the eggs and that's it. So look, I have to be honest, I'm not a fan of leaving nature to its own thing when it comes to hatching eggs. Obviously with the incubator, I just bought a pretty cheap one, but I'll maybe pop in, see if I remember, pop in a couple of links for incubators that I'm aware of that work quite well. you certainly do have more control over the environment. Look, actually have never had any issues with incubation. There'll be a few eggs that don't hatch, but I mean, that happens all the time. So I've had eggs posted over. Usually when you get eggs posted, they have a 50% hatch rate, so not as good, but you know, that's understandable given they've been away from a broody hen. You do have to watch it, and you know, keep up with the water and the maintenance in the incubator. But yeah, I've had reasonable success with that, and then you know, with the heaters, etc. So for me personally, they've worked quite well. And then I've done the whole day-old chick thing. That's rather lovely, where you don't have to worry about the hatching process. And chicks are terribly cute. Obviously, you need heat for the chicks and a very safe place for them to be. The thing with chicks is that you don't know if you're going to get chickens or roosters. And of course, the issue with roosters, bless them, we don't need that many. You know, usually for a flock, you don't only need one. I mean, for these girls up here, I don't have any roosters. I haven't had them for quite some time. I tend to get attacked by roosters. I don't know what it is about me that roosters don't like, but I have been a target quite a few times. I've got lots of bantam roosters, but they tend to get along relatively well. They're not as aggressive as the big guys. I have had boys in the coop down the bottom as well, but at the moment I don't have any. But yeah, that's the thing, you know, if you get you know, I've had it where I've hatched, you know, 5 boys and 2 girls sorts of thing. It happens. One time, oh my goodness, talk about lucky. I had 6 bantam eggs, 1 boy, 5 girls. What are the chances of that? Like slim to none. Oh, it was awesome. Oh, it's fantastic. And the reason it's fantastic, because people who have chickens know that it is very unlikely for such a thing to ever happen. It's usually more boys than girls. And the issue is that, you know, trying to give them away, it can be really challenging because there's only so many people who want roosters to begin with, and most people only want one. So that's always the dilemma. So lastly is buying pullets. So obviously that's another way to get some girls. You do know then that they are girls, but they're a lot more expensive, I find. So I've paid anywhere between $25 to $60. When it's $60 around here, they're usually fancy pants heritage chickens. It's a lot of money for a chicken, especially when half of them die. So the last flock, my partner bought me 4. 2 of them died. One just didn't thrive and slowly but surely died, poor little darling. And then one day another one just keeled over, and she wasn't, I don't think she even got to 6 months. So, you know, when you're spending a fair bit on chickens and then they cark it, it's, yeah, a little frustrating. So there's pros and cons. There are pros. There are pros and cons to, you know, all the different kinds of ways in which you can get chickens. I've also had this fully grown chickens as well. Obviously the issue is when you don't necessarily know how old they are. They might say that they're, you know, they haven't been laying for very long, but how do you know, right? So I bought, when early days of COVID, I think I bought 2 light Sussex. Oh, sorry, put that down. No one wants to see that, Felicity. I bought 2 light Sussex, and one's still going. The other one died. Maybe a couple of years ago now. And she just killed up her toes. I think she's actually quite old. Well, for me anyway. I think she was at least a year old when I got her. And so, okay, maybe she'd been laying for 6 months to a year, but she didn't lay too much longer, you know. Then I only had her for another couple of years of laying, and then she stopped. So that's the only issue when you get chickens that are, you know, fully aged and ready to lay. You don't actually know how old they are. So if they're pullets and they're not laying yet, you know that they're 6 months or less, right? So most chickens do Look, from my experience, somewhere between the 5 months and 6 months, usually 6 months is when they start laying, and so then you can, guarantee that they're young and that you'll have eggs for quite some time. Usually up until around the 3-year mark, they do okay, and then it really the first 18 months is great, and then it starts to taper off. So you're not going to get eggs for forever, but I think I said in the first video that this is going to be my retirement home for the chickens, for the girls. And I think I'll just use them for creating compost. Then they've at least got a job to do. They can't lay eggs anymore, but at least they're doing something. So, because I just can't get rid of my girls unless they're sick. I'll take them to the vet and get them put down. I'm just too much of a softie. I love my girls. Anyway, I'm going to get some carbon for the chicken run, and I'll show you what I've done afterwards. Hello. All right, so I wanted to quickly show you guys the metal coop that I was talking about before. They are really handy, like really easy to keep clean. Let's see if I can hold it in my hand. Hang on. Oh. All right, so if I open this up. So as you can see, so I think I could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, probably about 8, maybe 10 small, quite petite chickens. I'm thinking Isa Brown, so probably 8. They tend to sit closely when the wind. Jeez Louise. They tend to sit pretty closely together when they're sleeping in the roost anyway, so it's not such a big deal, but it is a little bit when it's the summer. So the great thing about this coop, see this metal sheet here, this can actually be removed. This cost me about $1,000 Australian, so not cheap. It does have an egg laying area here as well, and then I'll just show you the other part of it where there's a little metal run. It's not that big, but as you can see, so there's coop stairs. There's a little bit of space. I think it's about 2 meters. I think I just swallowed hair. The wind picked up over here. It's actually making my eyes and nose water. So suddenly got cold. So what was I saying? I'm totally distracted. Why am I joking? So look, really easy to keep clean. Never had any mites in here. No problems as far as any sort of health issues because of a coop because of the metal coop. I also have an automatic door, an omelette one. That was really great too. So what I'm going to do, as I said before, the issue is, sorry, poor camera work. The issue is shade, especially not so bad in winter. I mean, it's freezing here, so it's certainly not going to roast them in any way, shape or form. But my plan, so I'm at the front here, and so I've got, sorry I'm using my manky hand, there's a small orchard here. When the spring comes, the trees are pretty full of leaves and provide quite a bit of shade. So we're going to construct an enclosure for the garden, and as part of that will be with the chickens in the orchard area, and so hopefully they'll get a bit of protection, obviously both from foxes that are around here, particularly from the vineyard next door and around the place, and then protection from the elements as well. So I'm just going to get some old compost from this pile that you can't see over here, and some wood chips first, and then I'm going to go into the paddock and get some hay and some sheep manure, and get enough. So I mean, it's a start anyway. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So we're getting a tractor this week. It's just a little one. I think it's like 26 horsepower or something, 25 horsepower, and I have to be honest, I never thought I'd ever get excited about a tractor. And here we are, excited about a tractor, and it's red. Yes. So we'll be able to do a lot more moving of, materials and pulling out trees as needed, like dead ones, etc., It's going to be so handy. So I might do a video next time on the tractor. I'm so excited. So anyway, better stop rabbiting about that because it's not here. I'm not here getting your light, Felicity. Who cares? We don't care about your tractor. I care though, and that's the main thing. All right, so I'm going to get going on this, and yeah, I have no idea what else I'm saying. Blah blah, blah 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 blah. Oh, I've got to be honest. That was harder than I thought it was going to be, just doing it one-handed. Really didn't think that through. My finger really hurts. All right, so I didn't get much in there. That's okay. My partner did say to me just before, don't you think you should wait until we get the tractor? But no, I shouldn't be waiting. I really should. Anyway, I'm going to get some hay. We'll do that next. So I'm probably not going to get as much done as I'd hoped to. In my head, I was going to achieve so much more. But alas, anyway, I love this time of the day. It's so beautiful. The sun, you know, the light here is, especially I guess with the dappled light, it's just beautiful. I'm so glad we didn't move anywhere. I really love this place. It's gorgeous. So, all right, I'm going to scoop some poop and rake up some hay. Anyway, I'm going to go up to the chicken coop. I'm going to put it into... Oh, look, I actually got nearly... steady, Felicity. I got nearly a trailer full. Not bad considering. So I'm going to put it in the coop because I really wanted to get that done, I guess as part of the video, but also before tomorrow when the rain's apparently coming, and it's going to be here all week, so it should be pretty feral and disgusting. The other thing, I'm going to top it up with pea straw. The girls love pea straw, and they'll often they go in it to find the pea seeds, but I think at least putting carbon, some manure, and mixing different manures from, you know, both the sheep as well as the chickens, and you know, I'll see what gets created. I can only try, and if at its worst what it does is create just a better run for the girls, then I'm happy with that. That's fine. I don't know if you can hear this, but the sound of happy chickens, I love it. If I can move the camera. There we go. All you can see is their bums, but anyway. Alright, sorry for the camera that's there we go, that looks a bit better. So that should take care of this bit is really purely to stop the worst of the moisture that has a tendency to really centre on by the gate, which is over there. So, there we go, gate. Shocking camera work. So one thing about chickens, sometimes you do need to give them some entertainment. My plan, just to finish this video up, just to wrap things up, my plan is I really like to get the girls out on the weekends. I just haven't been able to do it because they've found a way to escape into the vineyard. The problem is then I have to go all the way down and all the way up. I mean, you know, good exercise, but, you know, I really don't have to do it. But they go through the vineyard and I can't keep them in there long because obviously they can get taken by foxes very easily. So my plan is to get some cheap netting. It doesn't have to be particularly high because they tend to get in down low between the barbed wire for a while. But you really have to give them some things to do, and they love scratching. So you know, if you have mowed the lawn and you've got lawn clippings, pea straw they love. I mean, that's really accessible here. I mean, I put hay in because I had some left over, just the scraps that the sheep didn't eat. I put that in there. Wood chips, I put some old compost in there as well that wasn't really, you know, wouldn't have had that much nutrients in it anymore. It's probably just a pile of dirt, really. And, you know, that will keep them entertained for a while. They can get bored, they really can. I had just a couple of girls down the bottom, and one of them was pulling out its feathers out of its chest, and I figured that was from boredom. They didn't have a really big run, and so I did extend it, and it helped a bit. But I also think they just needed some other girls, and so I brought them up here, and they've been, to be honest, they've been much happier. Chickens do love being with other chickens. Anyway, thanks for sticking around with me and talking chickens today. Certainly one of my favourite subjects.